think I can. Oh, wait, no, I think I can summon you.
I can. Well, you go ahead. I was going to zone to you, which I think I could do too.
I don't think you can. Oh, wait, I don't think I can summon you either.
Hang on, zone Dark Star. I'm going to you. I got it.
Okay.
Fact. When you take Advil, you get relief right at the site of pain. Wherever it is.
Apparently Advil gives you relief right at the side of the pain. Alright, you're live now, by the way. Evening, everyone. This is Rob with MMORPG.com. I have with me Starr Long and Richard Garriott of Portalarium, and they are here this evening to talk to you about Shroud of the Avatar, Forsaken Virtues. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The internet is mad at you, because the internet's mad at everybody always, because you're late.
We are late. We apologize.
And deep apologies. We had a couple of events queued up downtown. The Entertainment Software Association was here to try to lobby the city, and since we have strong opinions on the software business, so we had to show up there, and there was alcohol and food and other things that delayed us.
Perfectly acceptable answers.
I deny all participation in such activities.
It's funny that the virtuous one admits to drinking, and the one that's full of chaos is like, I deny everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works out between us. That our real life personalities are the opposite of our in-game personalities.
Well, I guess he was virtuous in the fact that he was admitting to it, whereas you just...
That's what I mean.
You know,
That is the virtuous part. We both committed the sin. I just was virtuous enough to, to confess.
Oh, that's right. Well, then it's very accurate role playing. So start things off. You aren't wearing nearly good enough stuff. So your choice. I made some stuff for you with our crafting system this evening. So one of the things that was introduced in this release was two things. One was the concept of using different materials in crafting could produce different results in the final product. So using different kinds of metal, different kinds of wood, could produce different effects to the items that you make. The other thing we introduced was the ability to enchant an item. Now we only have two enchantments in this release, but we'll add in more enchantments each release. For this release, you could add either electrical damage or fire damage to a weapon, in addition to the influences of the base material that did things like increased your dexterity or your strength, etc. So,
just to back you up real quick there, to clarify on the first part and make sure I understood you and the internet land understood you, you mentioned that you could use different materials. So you're talking you could use the same pattern or recipe, whatever you call it, and just use either different materials or better quality materials, same pattern, come up with a better item?
Exactly. So, for instance, there is a one-handed mace recipe in your recipe book that calls for, an ingot of metal.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put any metal in there in the process of making your mace, any ingot of any kind of metal, and depending on which metal you use will determine a different result.
And if I can add to that, some of the recipes for, say, a sword, not only have different materials that go into different, into the main part of the sword, but a sword is also made up of both a sword blank that could be made out of a variety of kinds of metals, as well as a hilt, which could be a simple wooden hilt, a wire-wrapped hilt, a leather-wrapped hilt, and things of this nature. And so when you actually create a final good, like a weapon, often multiple parts of that weapon will be made out of multiple materials, and that weapon is quite unique. One of the things we've already mentioned to you in a previous iteration is that we're trying to get out of competing with the player crafting for equipment, And part of what makes that special is that every weapon is, in a sense, special, or at least different than every other weapon, so people can decide what they think is most important and work to find the things that work best for them, their play style, their skills, etc. And so you could take, for example, a sword, make it out of a variety of materials, some of which will do more damage, some of which will be more durable. You could use a variety of hilts, which again, might give you another set of pluses or minuses to the way that it operates. And then you can also enchant them. You can insert gems into them. As Starr was mentioning, so far we have the fire and electrical additives that you can add into them. And of course, all things that you make, all final goods, have a maker's mark. And whether that's food or furniture or weapons, it is known who has made it. And so, and all of those unique abilities, and eventually we're even going to get a little bit of history to the weapon that will also be tracked with the weapon, and or goods of any kind. And so that makes really every instance of everything unique, slightly different than every other instance, and makes both making and using equipment, quite individually unique and special.
You mentioned the Maker's Mark. I'm sitting here showing off the different pieces on the stream that I was provided from Starr, and they all have his crafted by Dark Star. One thing I noticed that was different this time than in previous iterations is that I just took the mace and dropped it on my character display, and it actually took all of the armor that you gave me as well and equipped that.
Yeah, what'll happen is if you still had that window open with all those things selected, you can do multi-select of any group of items, and so you probably had all those items selected, so when you dragged the mace, you're actually dragging all those items.
That's very convenient.
We do what we can.
Do you have any gloves?
I did not make you gloves. That is the one part I did not do. But you know what? I will give you my...
No, mine.
What?
The seagulls?
Yeah, exactly. Richard wants to give you his gloves.
Thank you.
But did you make those gloves, Richard?
That's what I'm going to look at here.
No, unfortunately, I didn't make. I was making stuff yesterday, but I gave away all the stuff that I made before today, sadly.
Oh, Lord Grey Fox wants to give you gloves. I actually don't think we have a glove recipe in the game, like hand armor recipe in the game yet. Now I want to see, because probably someone on the internet is going to correct me.
Well, if somebody's made some gloves here, maybe they should hand it to Grack. And
I don't think we have a gloves recipe.
I don't know of one either, but I think not.
We've got some Royal Founders cloth gloves now.
Yeah, those are part of the GM rewards, so...
I appreciate it.
Wow, look how many... Okay,
We are now an illegal gathering. We're
all right, yeah.
an unsanctioned quorum, and we have naked dancers. Well, not quite naked, but...
Yeah, before you logged on, Grack, and before we came here to Owl's Head, there were, I think, like 3 or 4 people standing in this particular spot. Now it's blossomed mightily.
I'll make you famous.
So, one of the things we usually do in these streams is kind of give you a glimpse on some of the new spaces we added. So, one of those was a new open PvP zone.
Okay.
So I don't know how buff you're feeling, Grack, but we might jump in over to one of our new PvP zones, and this is what we call a Shardfall. And while I get us all set up over there, Richard can explain what a Shardfall is.
Sounds good.
Yeah, great. So just summon us whenever you're ready, Starr, and I will describe. So part of the fiction of our world involves that once upon a time we had multiple moons in the sky, and if you look up in the sky right now, you won't see multiple moons. Instead, what you will see is that there is one deeply shattered moon and a bunch of debris left in orbit, sort of around where the moon was. Can you? Let's see. I see you running off here into the clearing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a better angle. I see some lens flare.
Yeah, no. We need to wait. We need to wait till dark, I'm afraid. So during our play session, once it gets dark, then look back up into the sky. You'll see the shattered moon and the remnants of the smaller moon that is scattered as a debris field now orbiting the planet. And so part of that debris comes down now and both has, within the last few hundred years since those moons collided, and up till now still fall as giant cataclysms as these huge asteroids, land on the surface of Brittannia. And not only do those, of course, cause cataclysms to themselves, but the stone that falls to the planet is this special moonstone. And this special moonstone has a variety of properties, one of which is that it corrupts things around it, sort of like kryptonite might for Superman. It disturbs it, mutates it, harms it. It also tends to drive animals and humans and other sentient creatures insane that are near it. And it mutates even the plants that are around or near it, and so that creates these shardfall zones that are also places where that we call them PvP zones because things go wild, including people. So, including the friendly and normally potentially innocent people. Have gone feral, so to speak. So no matter what your PvP status is, if you enter one of these zones, you are now in an open PvP zone. But there are unique, or at least high quantities of fairly unique things to find here, resources to gather, and so there's motivation for people to come in here. And you can even see that I, as Lord British, have people targeting me. And so, I might have to kind of defend myself here a little bit as well.
Maybe I'll attack you, Richard.
You might. Of course, you and I both know that it's mighty difficult, hopefully, to kill Lord British in this zone. But versus stand here and brawl, although it might be kind of fun to stand here and brawl for a little bit, but we can also tour the Shardfall zone. I'm sure the brawlers will follow us. But if you look to, oops, I've lost my compass.
North. Look north.
Yes, look north. Thank you very much. And there's my compass.
Where all the floating geodes are at and the attacking plants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That just killed me.
Wait, the plants just killed you?
Yes.
Yeah, the plants are pretty buff. Oh, look, there you are. You're dead.
And let's see. I sadly don't. Oh wait, do I have resurrection? I do have resurrection. If I could find you, I could resurrect you.
Do you see where I? Hold on. Let me see. Let me get out of this root. The creature rooted me. I'm gonna go stand over him. Do you see where I am, Richard? Do you have your nameplates on?
Hang on a second. Yes, I have all my nameplates on. Let me just find you now.
I'm the one purple one.
I'm aware of that. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't see either one of you, so you're out of my range, wherever you have run off to.
Run towards the Shardfall.
Okay, yes, I was running toward the Moon Gate, or Lunar Rift. So, now I see you guys. Okay, very good. I've got, here we go. I'll see if I can't.
I blame it on the lack of a helmet.
Oh, it looks like you respawned on your own.
Yeah. I don't know that I did anything special, or maybe it's just timed me out.
There's a 2-minute timer. So, by the way, when you were dead, were you a ghost wandering around?
Yes, I was.
Okay, yeah, and so when you are a ghost, you have a number of options. We can't see you, but you can see little glowing balls of light. Those were all the other little souls that were still wandering the space. And we could not, however, see you. If you were to try to speak, by the way, though, we would see little oohs coming out of you as a poltergeist, so we could sort of track you a little bit. And you can go in the scene, and if you were to explore the scene that you were seeing in black and white, you can look for res points, these onks that are only visible to you when you are a ghost. But if you wait the full 2 minutes, you actually will automatically resurrect, and you probably came to life. I see you now running back toward the Shardfall, and so I will try to catch up to you in Dark Starr.
Actually, Darkstar and I are trying to kill Plant.
Yes, and hang on, let me see. We need to give you some buffs there. I can see.
I did have a problem there because all my abilities on my deck right now were bladed, and I had a mace, and I couldn't attack. This isn't working out very well.
Oh, you should have a sword in your inventory.
I figured it out. It took me a minute or two, but I got it. Now I'm doing some exploration in dead mode.
Someone should remind me
Hang on, I'm waiting
how
for
powerful these plants are. They don't call them flesh flayers for nothing.
They definitely flay some flesh.
Okay. Oh, why can't I res you here? Oh, my res is not working for some reason. Why is it not working?
Free alpha.
No, it's because I don't have all the reagents I need. I didn't load up on reagents before I came. So sadly, you'll have to play as a ghost. I won't be able to res you unless Starr has a...
You have
cheaty
verbal,
way to-
somatic, and material components.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, so reagents determine the fizzle chance for spells you cast, and some spells have 100% fizzle chance if you don't have the required reagents.
Resurrect is actually the highest tier of spell that exists. Starr, we should also party up.
Oh, that would be a good
I
thing.
was just thinking the same thing myself.
Invite us into a party there, Mr. Darkstar.
Yep.
Great, thank you. And by the way, these zones are also the highest level zones. So we've sort of thrown you in the deep end, and one of the reasons you're having such difficulty is because we took you into the deep water, so to speak.
And I'm level 5.
Yeah, so apologies for that. But by the way,
You should be playing more.
that actually does bring up an interesting thing about leveling. We have our attitude towards leveling is that Versus have these exponential curves of power where a first level player really has zero chance of engaging, or even a group of first level players have no chance of engaging a 10th level or 50th level or higher character. Our leveling curve is much flatter. We wanted to make sure that 10 first level people really could gang up on one 10th level person, for example. And so you'll find that even though you're 5th level, if we do party up properly and we do prepare ourselves properly, we can keep ourselves alive pretty well, especially because Starr and I are higher level characters here. We've buffed ourselves pretty seriously.
Where are you, Rob?
I'm at the Lunar Rift.
Okay, hold on. I'll be right there.
Okay, we'll come back there to you.
One of the things that you've actually tried to show us in 2 separate streams was one of the contested PvP points that can go between the players
There you are.
and the environment, so to speak, the
Yes.
enemy NPCs. So
Yeah, we can show you that if it.
Oh, and actually, we have a new one since we were last here. So
okay.
Uh-oh.
I got like one shot shanked right there.
That was me. I killed you myself. I'm so sorry. I was trying to write like a party member out of you, and I did not succeed, obviously. Now I should be able to resurrect you, however.
There we go.
Got you back.
okay, all right. I'm gonna go over to the control point.
Very good.
We're going to Brightbone Pass.
I'll try to keep Grack alive here in the meantime.
Now,
I
you guys
appreciate it.
did you ever make it over to the crater itself?
I did as I was dead.
Oh, okay, but not alive.
I got close alive.
Okay.
Okay, good
I'm
enough.
gonna follow Starr to Brightbone Pass then.
I got him. I'm summoning him.
Okay. And I'll follow as well.
Someone on the stream just asked what's to prevent the ganking. Just to point out, that was an open PvP area. Not every place is like that.
Yeah. So and you get a confirmation when you go into that zone saying, "Hey, you're about to enter an open PvP zone." We are gonna have a way to randomize entry points to those zones, so you can't just
Can't camp
camp the entrance to the zone itself.
Gotcha.
So this is one of the PvP areas, and if we hurry,
the control point.
we can get to the. Sorry, not PvP. Control points. if we hurry, we can probably get there before a swarm of players who is watching the stream joins us.
And do you see the fortress and the big statue up ahead?
I do, and I saw the red up there.
red.
I'm assuming the flag is.
This, but this is under the control of the undead in this case, and so now we can get involved here with the.
If I remember correctly, the previous one was the elves. It was under their control.
And that's just due to the different area of the map and the story that is happening in this zone. Yeah, and in this case, yes, it's the undead that are plaguing this part of the map.
Yeah, the necropolis, which is the main city of the undead, is at the base of these mountains, and so the undead control this particular pass through the mountains.
What was the quest for this month? For this release, I should say.
Oh, so each month, great question. So each month, we have a grand tour quest where we take you through all the different new maps in the game. And this, in this release, this is one of the maps that you go on the tour. The one we were just in was another one. So we actually sent players into a PvP zone.
And I can see we have flipped the flag to blue, but you'll also now see that is risen. A bunch more undead have risen, and there will be additional waves of them now that come to try to take it. So this was actually relatively easy for us to take, easier than I expected, but I doubt that it will be as easy to hold. As the waves will continuously increase to as basically as hard as the game can fight.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the elite waves, so I think we have 3 more waves before we get to the elite versions of the undead. Where
so will they just continue to come, or will there eventually be a point where they stop for a while and we have control?
There are lulls. There are lulls in the action, but you know, as a species or as a faction, you know, they're not going to permanently give up control.
Oh no, I understand.
Yeah, so they'll come in timed waves, and then culminating in a wave of elites. And then while the players are controlling that, depending on different game states, it may continue to be another wave of elites until attack, or it may loop back to the original starting difficulty level.
Okay, and just for the people that didn't hear when we were talking about the elf one, this actually has impact on the way players can traverse the map, correct? Having these control points.
Yes, when this control point is under player control, that means that people can pass through this mountain pass unobstructed. They can basically walk over this landmark and continue on their way. When this is under control of the undead, no one can pass through it without being brought in like we were, and you would have to fight your way in and fight your way out. Now, in theory, somebody could come through here and fight their way in and then race out the back without flipping the flag. They could do that and get to the other side of the mountains, but that still means that any other person coming through here has to similarly fight their way through. If you want this pass to be open for passage, you have to be holding the control point. Players have to be holding the control point.
So we're now at the elite wave. So these are the hardest.
Yeah, I've been dead for about a minute now.
Oops, so sorry. Wait, I'll go back and find you, and I'll try to res you.
I'm right at the control point.
We probably should have leveled you.
I did level while I was dead, actually.
Right, but I should have cheated and leveled you. Hold on.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I released. I'm running back. And
Okay.
by released, I mean it forced me to release. Someone's upset that I'm using a static deck. It is what it is. got a grumpy lich here.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's someone. I think maybe someone summoned that lich, or
No, he's a
oh no,
hostile.
he's a new lich. Yeah, he's a hostile. Still owning the control point. That's good. We do have a horde of players now.
He's not our friend.
So,
I'm also going to try to bring a water elemental in. The nice thing about a water elemental is it should be helping us, not just by attacking enemies, but if its skill set is in, it should also be healing our party.
Okay. I saw other players have an ice elemental and water elemental out as well. Speaking of which, here's one right here.
And Starr, do you know the command to buff Grack a little bit leveling or otherwise?
Yeah, I'm looking that up right now. I can see how to add level to me.
Yeah, that's what the same problem I had. we're skilled at making ourselves invulnerable. We're just not skilled at making other people invulnerable.
I see how it is.
I think we defeated all these waves, so
Okay, now we have a lull.
they'll have a lull, and then there'll be another round of creatures attacking. Amber Rain, Richard said that there's a bunch of people at Port Phoenix partying.
Okay, let's go to Port Phoenix. I haven't been there in a while. Want me to go first?
Yeah, I think they're on your friends list.
Okay, oh yes, of course.
So we were talking about the Grand Tour. This was one of the stops. The
yes.
previous one was one of the stops, and
the prize. So each release, it's a new hat/mask, and the prize in this release was a. So every release to date has been a masculine hat, if you will. So it's been. Like a Cavalier's hat or a Tricorn hat, etc. And this release, we decided that we would make a hat for the ladies, or those who wish to be ladies. And so we made the sort of classic fantasy princess hat. And actually, Grack, if you follow me, we've got some more leads coming. If you follow me this way, you can see one of the tour guides modeling the lovely, if you don't die on the way, modeling one of the lovely princess hats.
yeah, I actually saw one of the dancers had that on earlier.
Yeah.
Tell me when you guys are ready to be summoned.
Ready when you are.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, and the one of the other tour locations was another desert map. This one was the Worm Sands, and depending on how much time we have, we might stop there on our way out.
Okay, that'd be great.
See. My summon of Grack works. Starr, did it work for you?
Oh, I got to go to you.
Okay.
You're in Kingston?
It's zoned to me.
Okay.
Give that man an ale.
So, Richard, while I'm zoning in, do you want to describe what you guys are doing and where, how much of this is player built or not?
Yes, absolutely. So here we are in the latest incarnation of a bar that is commonly referred to as Woody's. In fact, there's a lot of people here, but I assume Woody is there's Woody. In fact, just in front of you is Woody of the Phoenix Republic, and they build all kinds of stuff that each iteration that comes out, each time there's a wipe, they go rebuild bigger and better than they had before. This is one of the most popular hangouts in the game. People group up here and hang out here between adventures and then head off in groups to a wide variety of activities. And also you'll notice that right in front of you, Grak, is one of the radios, and I think we've described those to you before, but I don't know if you've ever double-clicked on one of them.
I'm actually pumping the music through the stream right now.
Excellent. And so what's really amazing about that radio is how that came into being. It started with some members of the community, including Miss Amber Rain, who is probably right around us here somewhere. And again, there's so many people here, it's hard for me to see everybody individually. But that's who I zoned to get here, so she must be here. Oh, I see her over there to our right.
And if anybody's wondering, by the way, that's Gordon Lightfoot that's on the radio. Just throwing that out there.
And what they did is Amber, who's coming over to us now. Hello, Lady Amber. She and some friends started something called Avatars Radio, a website that was devoted to, a streaming radio station that was devoted to, playing music and chat and live storytelling in and about Shroud of the Avatar. We then thought, or some players actually thought about, wouldn't that be cool if that radio station could be in the game, broadcast as an item in game? Because we actually have the excuse, you may have seen the moon towers, these electrical power sources we have in some of the towns. There's an excuse for transmitted power to a variety of pieces of equipment we already had. And so while we conceptually weren't against it, that's not on our schedule. We had no time or ability to build the art for a radio. We had no time or ability to make the code for such a radio. And so the community got together and said, we'll do it. So they literally built that radio that you see there was built by the community and the groups associated with Avatars Radio. They then went off and wrote the code as well to stream that into the game. We brought it on and integrated. We had a little bit of work to do to adapt the code to for proper streamlining into the game systems. But dropped it in the game, and now not only is that radio in the game, but and as you've heard, you're listening to it. And people throw parties with it all the time. But that radio is now used to simulcast all kinds of events into the game. And so whenever people do plays, they put a radio down on the front of the stage. And so the actors can live speak their roles in 3D, ranged broadcasts from the stage into the audience. Whenever there are big PvP tournaments, people take radios there and simulcast the play-by-plays that you can hear not only at the site of the combats, but all throughout the rest of the world. If you want to be listening to the latest battles while you're drinking a bar at some other pub across the world, you can listen to it on the wireless, so to speak. And so it actually has turned out to be a wonderfully powerful community tool that was conceived by the community, created by the community, and we did little help for installing it, but otherwise, this is of and by them, and it has turned out to be a great boon to all of us.
The power of the community demonstrated right there.
Exactly.
And you can see if you've got nameplates on, you can see underneath a lot of the players online right now in brackets are their guild names.
What's the hotkey for the nameplates?
N.
You're in Portalarium.
Correct. We are in the guild called Portalarium.
Yes. And you can see Phoenix Republic and Whiteheart and Bear, Avatars Radio, and actually one of the largest guilds. They had a large presence over in the in the Shardfall that we were in, and that's the Brittannia Mining Company, of which Ezekiel Cooper is the guild master of that.
In fact, Ezekiel, I'm looking now for your nameplate.
He's here.
Okay, great. So Ezekiel, what's interesting is the Brittannia Mining Company just a couple of days ago ran a big event, and it was a crafting fair where they had invited members of their guild who become experts in crafting in different areas. They built out a big crafting area where they had the crafting tables of all the different kinds of skills. They had experts on acquiring all the resources of all the different types, and they invited people to come there and learn crafting. And people would be, literally walked through the process of using resources and tools to build final materials. And this is the build. This last build was the first time that final crafted items had the maker's marks on them. And so, and by the way, we put in new recipes all the time. So another thing that came in this time was the use of all the different metals and things, the materials to make weapons. So the combination of truly unique individual weapons and the maker's marks all came in during this release. And so I had one of their crafters walk me through the process of crafting an enchanted sword, which I had honestly never done previously. So I didn't know how to do it. It was not in my recipe book. They talked me through it. I followed their instructions. By following their instructions, not only did I manage to then make that unique item, that recipe then was permanently now part of my recipe book. So I had learned how to do it by being taught it in real time. And by chance, that also happened to be the first sword ever in the history of Brittannia, Old Brittannia or New Brittannia, that has a Lord British maker's mark on it. And so I gave it to Ezekiel, who is head of the Britannian Mining Company, and perhaps he will show that to you. I'm not sure he can show it to you with any way other than letting you see it in a trade window, but if he doesn't hit accept on the trade window, he doesn't risk losing it. So you might be able to see it in that way. And Ezekiel, if you're listening to the live cast, maybe you could do that for us.
He heard you. He ran over there. I don't think he realized I was sitting there dancing a jig in the hot tub with him.
Oh, you guys are over the hot tub. Well, I'm going to head over here too then. Here we go.
Wait, there was a hot tub party and you didn't tell us?
There was dancing. I did in party chat. It's not my fault you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, by the way, yes, we have some in fact, here, let me come join you there too. Why not?
The ladies were dancing in the hot tub, and you guys were over there talking at the bar. I was like, well, I know where I'm headed. So the question bears to be asked then, if that's the first sword with Lord British Maker's Mark, will there be any further wipes?
Well, that has been the discussion on the website since then. We've been getting all kinds of people emailing us and posting to try to find a way to at least let that item survive the wipes. There will be more wipes, and we actually don't think we have a way to preserve anything through the wipes yet. Eventually, I think we've told you before that what we're going to do on the final wipe of the game is we're going to take all the equipment that existed during the beta process and preserve it so that we have something to fill treasure chests with, when the first fresh run of the game. So we ultimately are going to start banking all these things that are made in the meantime, as long as they remain valid through the later wipes. But
will you leave the maker's marks on them so the original makers?
Absolutely. So everything about them, their histories, their unique crafting, the maker who made them, all that will be preserved. We just don't yet have the ability to preserve it. And so I've already told Ezekiel that if as we expect it gets wiped out, I would be happy to meet with him, and we will with the Britannia Mining Company and or him personally, and we will bring it back into existence just because it's a fun item.
All right, so I'd say we go from a wet environment and hit the desert up.
All right, let me get us all loaded up, and I will summon you guys there.
Right, real quickly, we've had a couple questions asking about the release. Obviously, you're still in pre-alpha, but are you guys still expected to hit your window of, was it fourth quarter this year or first quarter next year? Yes, exactly, and we're confident we'll get all the features done. We'll be feature complete well before then. The question is, will we get all the maps and all the story in? And that's actually something we're trying to tune the team assignments on right now, is to try to bring things closer to the end of the year or into the year that right now look like they're pushing the end of the year. So, but we actually think that by summer we'll be effectively feature complete, other than polish. So, and as you can ask any of these people here with us if the game is beginning to feel like a finished product. And while there's clearly plenty of skills that are not yet installed in the game, and the balance is way off, and there's only 20% maybe of the maps existing at the moment. Yet it's a fairly rich play experience even now. Let's see. Yes, hey, I'm following. Okay, we're all headed out. We're all following Dark Starr. In fact, if you haven't seen this, we're obviously on the outdoor map running around.
one of the things that people are going to see in the next release, I know we're really talking about this release, but one of the fun things. Uh-oh,
Did you get pulled into a random encounter, Greg?
Yes, I
you
did.
So, by the way, we see we're still on the outdoor map, and what we see is a shield marker with your name on it that shows that you have gone into that adventure. So we, in theory, could follow you, but you can actually turn around instead and run back out. Starr, where did you go? Did you?
I'm going to the desert.
Okay.
I abandoned Greg. He's wolf fodder.
Guy. Okay.
Hey, well, these aren't wolves, friends. These are skeletons that are after me.
Yeah, Dark Star will hopefully summon us both.
It'll be okay. One's down. You did mention story, and that reminds me of something that's probably... I'm kind of embarrassed I don't know. Has Tracy finished the book that he was working on to correspond with the game?
Yes. So the digital version of the book was finished, and any of the backers who backed to the level where they would access to it have received it, or at least can download it anytime they want.
Okay.
Interestingly, we then were contacted by a book publisher who would like to put it in print. So of course we said yes. But they said, hey, we'd like to have something unique about the print version. So Tracy actually went back and added 3 chapters to effectively the director's cut, you might say. And those are also finished. And so now that is going through a final editing pass and will be published for the summer. And they've contracted it as a trilogy. And so we're going to get, he hasn't yet started in, Tracy and I have kind of drafted a super loose framework of books 2 and 3. We'll now be, working on framing it out here as in the next pass, and then of course the magic that Tracy does to make a final piece of work at it is just amazing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is actually a 5-part series that you have planned already, correct?
That is correct. Although the 3-part series that Tracy is working on are all prequels to the story of the game.
Okay.
They're all what happened in the 400 years since the moons collided and the play of this game begins. I see Grak taking on some of the local wildlife. These guys are kind of big. I guess.
I think I'm doing okay. Got to kill some of the local fauna.
Okay. And Owen, you may notice you can go over and skin them. Can you see when you come over to it?
That's what I'm doing now. I'm field dressing it.
Perfect. Okay, good. And you might get, I'm guessing, a poison sac or some keratin. What did you get?
An animal hide and an animal hide scrap.
So maybe that's still and I think that probably should have had a poison sac and some keratin. Those are the kind of little deltas from what we probably should have. That hey, that guy popped back up.
That's what I'm saying. He came back quick.
He did come back quick. In fact, that's actually something that we're in the middle of changing up right now. If you think about most MMOs are constant respawn areas. There's sort of a zero-sumness about your life in an MMO. You realize you're not really making any difference anywhere. And these spaces that we're in now are areas that we want you to feel like that you are exploring something that's fresh, that when you come through it, you are making a difference. And while some significant amount of time later, it might be okay that future players see something different about it. We have architected a game where it is more acceptable because of our instancing of these zones to say that we as a party can really clear this out, and if and instead of things kind of respawning right behind us as we kind of go through it, they stay gone for a longer period of time or indefinitely until we leave the zone long enough for it to reset. And so we're trying to give people a feeling unlike what you just had. We don't want things to just pop up and respawn again after you've dispatched them.
I've done nothing.
Let's follow Starr.
Star's not going anywhere.
Where is Starr? I was following Jack Frost.
I just disappeared.
You did.
I went to find the dragon bones.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to look for too. So follow me, Grak. We're going to go around this mountain range a bit.
Do you see my name? Do you see where I am?
I did, and then you disappeared.
Hold on, I'm running towards you.
And then I stopped to pick some garlic.
And I'm running around the mountain range here, Starr. Oh, now you can look up and see the
Should
moons
be
there.
coming around the mountain. Yep. Okay.
I can see your nameplates.
So apparently that moon had
I see
a.
Dark. You go to you, Dark Star, or not?
Yeah, come to.
Okay, sorry, Greg. I was taking you the wrong way.
Did that moon have a liquid metal core at one point?
It did, in fact, but it also had this very strange moonstone associated with it that is part of not only why the lunar rifts work. It's also why the Shardfall zones are such nasty places, but also places of finding unique mutated resources and things of that nature. So if you come up this way, Grak, let's see if I can dispatch this giant scorpion.
I see some bones.
There you go. Yeah, so head up there into the bones.
Them bones. But that reminds me, I need to go on the website and download that ebook.
Indeed. And to me, one of the joys of working with a writer that's as good as Tracy, I've always been a fan of Tracy's work. And I've worked with writers in the game industry before, but Tracy is by far the most accomplished, just in the business measure of the word.
And all of his work on Dragonlance series.
Yeah, but what I found really amazing is when we were sitting down to discuss what these books should be, I felt like an equal participant. When we were discussing what I think part of what I thought was really strong creative work in the Ultima series that I developed before was the work about virtues and about how to structure a story that had a moral underpinning that was rational and self-supporting. There was work I've done and that I can still do and do now that I'm proud of, that I think has skill associated with it. And so during that part of the framing of these books, I actually felt in some ways I was the leader of that phase of the creation of the books. But then to write the final prose, that's really all Tracy. But the one step prior was a pretty detailed outline where it read like a book. It just wasn't the final prose. And I thought, I'm pretty happy with it. This is a good book, and I've really helped. And then Tracy goes off and he rewrites the whole thing. The framing is, the structure is still the same, the story is still the same, but the quality of the dialogue and the way you get in and out of the scenes and the depth of the character evolution was so far beyond what even I thought ever about or conceived that it could be. I was just stunned. Tracy's skill as a crafter of stories is really astounding, and that's remained true up until these last two chapters that he framed out or just finished the prose for, and really good.
We have one more stop we'd like to make before we go,
Okay.
Which is Amber Rain has a new garden to the Church of the Dark Star, so. I have to promo my church. So.
Alrighty.
And of course, these are the places where I always have to shake my head and
Trying to spontaneously combust as you walk in.
Yes, exactly. It's tragic. These people, these followers of chaos, but
they've lost their way.
Lost their way, exactly.
I will summon you guys when I get there.
And of course, we didn't really talk about the dragons. But
talk about that while I'm getting this.
Yes, and so this is the dragon graveyard where our dragons come to die. However, one of the big challenges we still have forward on the schedule is to fulfill our promise of dragons. We think that doing cool, large dragons is something that's very important for us to do. Those are en route. There's still a few releases away, but we've already built environments and caves for them. But we'll still be working on that. All right, so here we are. This is
this isn't Amber Rain's place. This is just where I was last in Valemark, so we actually have to go.
I kind of like it. It's got some.
We have to go. We have to.
Okay, so yeah, come over to the other side of that hot tub, Grak. If you get tired of sitting on the throne, jump through the hole, and come down here, and we'll.
Don't jump too far, though. You will die.
Oh yeah, good point. And now we need to find the staircase down. Here it is over here. You got it. Now we're going down, down and out. Keep looking for the ways down and the way out. We were on top of a tall house there. Here's the front door. And come on down here. Did you get down? There you are. And now we can see Starr across the way. And I see Amber Rain's nameplate up ahead. Let me get a little light on the scene.
So just a reminder, this is one of the areas of the map that's all player buildings and structures and decorations.
Yeah, there's nothing here other than the terrain and trees that wasn't placed here by players.
So usually in one of these releases, there is a building that is the church, and in this case, Amber made a church for some open air sermons.
And obviously you've heard us obviously speak of Amber already a couple of times tonight. She is definitely one of the I would like to say one of the only, but we actually have such a strong and diverse community. We really have a number of people that we love to celebrate and talk about. But Amber was one of the first really strong and amazing community leaders who helped bring together some of the things like Avatars Radio and some of this stuff in nature.
Yeah, and if you zoom your camera out with like your mouse wheel,
nice.
And if you walk into the center, you can see that it's actually the chaos symbol, which is all the arrows pointing off in all directions. And the way they were able to do this is because one of the things we added in the last couple of releases were these hedge maze pieces, which in this case they've used to build the chaos symbol.
And by the way, I noticed a radio here too. I'm guessing that Amber or one of her followers or teammates is on the horn with the radio.
No, the doors are on. Riders of the Storm.
Yep, I hear it. Yep. But very commonly, they will give sermons to a lot of the fictional backdrops of the game, and whether that is about virtues or chaos. And
Pretty sure they're not espousing virtues here.
Well, these are interesting debates we have. I think Amber would be one of the first people to say, every Saturday at 11 a.m. Central, she says, to give her chaos speeches. But virtue and chaos are not in opposition. Order and chaos might be law, the rule of law versus anarchy, you could say, are in opposition. But yes, as Amber just stated there, chaos can follow virtues. It's just that it's how to follow them and under what kinds of personal restrictions or required order might that fall. Of course, as the patron of virtue, I would argue that virtue is an end to itself, and without need of that restrictive order, you still might be better to the natural result of living in a virtuous way would align well with. But these are things that we debate on Saturdays, so we'll no need to cause a ruckus here today.
Star's up there giving a little speech.
Well, and I wonder, Amber, since this is your space, starting next, I think it's this release, Starr, that you'll be able to operate equipment on a friend's lot. Is that correct? Those metronomes, for example, are they operational if at least Amber operates them?
That is up in the air.
Okay, so if anyway, it might be Amber could probably at least do that. Well, no, even if she does it, it might not happen in a multiplayer way for us to see. But all these, those like winged angels you see, those are actually interactive objects that open and have a metronome-like device on the inside. Amber's saying no, they're not opening. But right now you can go visit your friend's house and open and close their doors. You can read the books in their house, things of that nature. But we are also going to now make it to where, just like that radio, each of us can turn on and off, even though we can't steal it because it doesn't belong to us. You'll be able to operate all the other interactive things in their environment, which I think is fun to explore. We just haven't pushed them yet to acknowledging their space, but more of those will come online over time.
Awesome. Well, I would like to offer you a trade, Starr.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. This is for your sermon. It'll probably come in handy. I just went over there.
I can't wait to see what it is.
I gotta figure out how I've never actually traded it. I've always been the recipient.
Dark Star, and the first item on a pull-down menu is trade.
Yeah, I got that. Now I'm just trying to figure out.
So in your inventory, you've got
hit I for inventory.
Yep.
And then you've got all your items or equipment or crafting. You can also type in the little box at the top that says filter.
I've got it highlighted. What I want to trade you.
Oh, then just drag it over into the window, the section that says Dark Star.
Yeah, I've tried that. It's not doing it. I guess it's bound to me.
We don't think we don't have bound things at the
moment.
Wait,
is it? Or do you have it equipped?
No.
Wait, what is it?
It's a stag head.
Oh, I wonder why it's not letting you.
I don't know, but it's pretty awesome that it just looks like a deer's head that you'd mount somewhere.
No, it's to hang up on your wall.
No, by the way, when you that's actually the mounts that you would put, the stag mount you would put up on the wall is something you actually make. When you field dress a stag, you might get some meat, you might get some bone, you might get sinew to make bowstrings out of, or you could get the head.
And I did.
And that head, the bloody head, you could then take to a taxidermist, and with some boards and I don't remember what all the ingredients are. I'll make it up. Stuffing, glass marbles for eyes, and that stag head. You can then make a wall mount that then people can hang on their wall.
Well, I was going to give it to Starr so he could go ahead and hang it in his church.
Yeah. Here, wait, try again.
There we go.
So I just
there we go.
There we go. All right, I gave you some health potions in exchange for the stag head. Thank you for the stag head.
You're welcome.
Nothing like the bloody head of a slain creature for chaos.
Oh, did we show you last time maps? I'm noticing in my shortcut bar I have a map of a couple of different towns. Did we show that to you last?
We did. They're rare.
Yeah.
And also maps are unique. I mean, there can be many maps. In fact, what's interesting is some of the players have begun to make some maps of these towns that are frankly superior to our own internally made maps. And so we're going to capture some of those and put them into the game as maps, as well. So you'll be able to find simple maps, Portalarium made maps, some destroyed or partially destroyed maps, and some of these player made maps that are way more beautiful than the ones we're making. So all those will be things you can find to find your way around the world.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the tour, gentlemen. Is there anything else that you wanted to show off before you guys get back to the food and booze?
I think that's it. I think we got a good sampling of what we've got to offer. And before we leave, please join us if you are interested in helping develop one of the most amazing communities that I've ever seen. An incredible role-playing game, an amazing virtual world. Multiplayer, single player. We hope to deliver it all with a truly player-driven experience where players make the best and greatest items in the game, like the equipment that I gave you at the very top of the hour that we started with, Grack.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kinds of things that any player in the game can make by gathering those materials and assembling them together. So shroudtheavatar.com, and thank you MMORPG.com for giving us the time this evening, and wow, just every release, giving us the time to do these live streams. Truly appreciated.
Really.
Great community that you have there, and we love the staff.
We appreciate it, and I really hope to see a deer head hanging up in your mansion next month.
Absolutely, I can guarantee it.
But there's one more thing that we should do. Next time you're back, as soon as we get in the recipe for making a deer head into a deer mount, we'll have the Brittannian Mining Company walk you through the process of making a deer head. That way it has your maker's mark on it, and Starr can hang it in his house.
That would be fantastic. Let's do that. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to, check in from release to release, and we'll be back next month for the show. What's going on then? Have a great evening.